G'day everyone, welcome back to the ICC Jimbo channel, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing another chaotic and extremely fun BBL 14 season. The opening week started with a bang for the Perth Scorchers, as Cooper Connolly's 64 runs led the Scorchers to a comfortable victory against a poor Melbourne Stars outfit. The Sydney Sixers started their BBL 14 campaign strongly at home in a decent clash with the Melbourne Renegades. Daniel Sams was the hero for the Sydney Thunder as he smacked 31 off and over against the Adelaide Strikers to claim a victory which they had absolutely no right to do so. The reigning champions and also injury-depleted Brisbane Heat breezed home and started their title defence positively against the Melbourne Stars. Tom Rogers and the Melbourne Renegades Quigs ripped through the Hobart Hurricanes in Geelong, who were bowled out for 74, which is now their lowest score in BBL history. The Strikers got on the board, defeating the Melbourne Stars, who now go 0-3. Mitchell Owen was the first player to smack a century in this edition of the BBL as the Hobart Hurricanes bounced back in a big way against the Perth Scorchers. The Sydney Derby ended in a thriller as Ben Washers and the Sixers ensured that Sydney would once again remain pink. This crazy opening week ended with Nathan McSweeney, who returned to the Big Bash and put up 78 runs not out to give the Heat their perfect start to their title defence, and giving the Aussie selectors something to think about after an unsuccessful stint in the Aussie Test Arena. Week 2 started with a thriller, as the Melbourne Renegades were able to continue their winning ways, taking down the Perth Scorchers. After a 3-day break due to Christmas, cricket was back on Boxing Day, as James Vince smacked a century to hand the Stars their 4th straight defeat, putting doubts in their season. Later that night, the Perth Scorchers were able to bounce back and hand the Heat their first defeat of BBL 14. Ben McDermott and the Hobart Hurricanes win their 2nd game in a row against the Adelaide Strikers on a flat track in Adelaide. The Sydney Thunder were able to bounce back from their Sydney Derby loss and hand the Stars their 5th straight loss in a row. The Sixers were able to win their 4th straight game against the struggling Brisbane Heat outfit at the Gabba. The Sydney Thunder were able to somehow defend 156 runs at the showground against the Melbourne Renegades as they swept both Melbourne teams. Week 2 and 2024 ended with the Perth Scorchers claiming victory in the annual Adelaide New Year's Eve clash, not only putting doubts in the Strikers' season, but also their 6th straight New Year's loss in a row, an unwanted record to have. 2025 and Week 3 started off with quite the upset as the Hobart Hurricanes defeated the Sydney Sixers, claiming victory by 50 runs, as the Cane train was beginning to roll through their opponents. 2025 equals new stars. The Melbourne Stars were able to defeat the Brisbane Heat, thanks to Saunders and Dan Lawrence on New Year's Day. The Brisbane Heat were looking quite inconsistent and are now in panic mode. Chris Lynn and the Adelaide Strikers claimed their 2nd win of the season, knocking off the out-of-form Renegades to keep their slim finals hopes alive. The Sixers Heat game at Coffs Harbour was called off due to rain, which meant the first washout of BBL 14. The Sydney Thunder, after being 2 men down, somehow Shafane Rutherford defeated the Perth Scorchers in Perth. The Melbourne Stars get the Melbourne Derby bragging rights for at least a week after defeating the Gades in a thriller. The Cane train is well and truly running as Tim Davis steamrolled the Adelaide Strikers. Max Bryant and Matthew Renshaw stole what would have been a certain victory for the Sydney Thunder, and the Melbourne Renegades, after being 4 for 10, somehow chased down the Perth Scorchers' 147 run total. The Hurricanes and Thunder couldn't split points, as the rain had other plans in Sydney. The Stars' upsets continue as they upset the Sydney Sixers to keep their finals hopes alive. The Canes take down the Thunder in Hobart. Steve Smith made a century to put doubts in the Scorchers' season, and later that night, Matt Short smacked a century against the Heat to keep their slim finals hopes alive. To end Week 3, it was Glenn Maxwell who smacked 90 runs against the Melbourne Renegades to not only ensure that Melbourne is green, but also making the Stars' late push for finals well and truly alive. Sam Constas' 53 runs saved the Sydney Thunder on a tricky NG Stadium wicket as the Thunder ripped through the Perth Scorchers. The Hurricanes unofficially ended the Melbourne Renegades season in Hobart. The Sydney Sixers somehow won a mid-innings collapse against the Adelaide Strikers, whose season is now on the balance. The Cane train is still steaming through their opponents as they hurt the Heat's chance of finals, as 408 runs total was scored at the Gabba. Jake Fraser-McGurk spanked 95 runs to officially end the Heat season, as victory also put the Melbourne Renegades in 4th spot. That would only last a few hours though, as the Perth Scorchers overtook them on the ladder with a big 5-wicket victory against the Strikers, as it will either be the Scorchers or the Melbourne Stars to qualify for finals. The top 4 would be decided in the final game of the season, as the Melbourne Stars somehow, after being 0-5, qualify for the finals after comfortably defeating the Hobart Hurricanes at the MCG. The top 4 is officially locked, and these are the following teams who will be locking heads in the BBL 14 Finals Series. The Hobart Hurricanes, the Sydney Sixers, the Sydney Thunder, and the Melbourne Stars. The qualifier, Hurricanes vs Sixers. Winning here in the final. That's the motive for both the Hurricanes and Sixers, who'll be looking to both bounce back after a couple of disappointing results. The Sixers won the toss and elected to bowl first. Things started well early for the Hobart Hurricanes, as Mitch Owen 36 runs and Caleb Jewell 40 runs got the Cane train moving early. But the train went on a halt as the Sixers picked up quick wickets, and the big one of Mitch Owen and Matthew Wade as they both fell. From there, Jewell and Ben McDermott 42 runs put up a quick fire 52 run partnership before Jewell fell. It didn't take long for the Canes to lose another wicket of McDermott, but by then Tim David smacked a quick fire 25 off just 10 balls. Some quick wickets fell in the last over, but the damage was already done as the Canes got to a respectable total at Ninja Stadium. It was a horror start for the Sixers as Josh Philippe fell on a duck. The wickets continued to fall as Cameron Gannon took out Jack Edwards and Riley Meredith removed captain Moses Enriquez on 1 run, as the Canes were all over the men in pink. However, all hope wasn't lost as Curtis Patterson 48 runs and Jordan Silk 57 runs smashed a 75 run partnership to get the Sixers back in the game. But once Patterson fell, things started to go downhill once again for the Sixers as the required run rate was over 13 and over. Things truly ended with captain Nathan Ellis removed the dangerous Silk, and after that, another attempt of a miracle victory from Lachlan Shaw 33 runs and Ben Dwarsha 16 runs. It was just too much for the Sixers to handle as the Cane train was steaming ahead to the big dance. The knockout, Thunder vs Stars. It's win or go home for both the Thunder and the Stars, as this is sudden death cricket. The Stars won the toss and elected to bowl first. Things started well for the Melbourne Stars as Tom Curran took out the dangerous David Warner on a duck. After a slight lightning delay, the good luck for the Stars will continue as Osama Mir took out Hugh Willoughby on 11 runs. After some power hitting from Matthew Jilks 28 runs and Sam Billings 24 runs, Peter Siddle took out George Gatton on 5 runs, and Marcus Stoinis removed Chris Green 3 runs to give the Stars the slight edge. Tom Curran got the huge breakthrough of Ollie Davies on 36 runs as the Stars going into the innings break believed they were in front. But that simply was not the case for the Stars as Sam Harper 6 runs and Tom Rogers 1 run fell early. The struggles of the Stars didn't end there as Peter Hanscom fell on 11 runs. Marcus Stoinis 15 runs and Glenn Maxwell 28 runs hit a 38 run partnership before Captain Stoinis had to go. And over later Maxie fell as the Stars season was pretty much over. From there, a complete collapse occurred as everyone but Hilton Cartwright 15 runs and Mark Steckety 18 runs fell to scores in the single digits as the Stars fell short by 21 runs. And Nathan McAndrew took a fifer, ensuring the Thunder will head to the SCG in the Sydney Smash to decide who makes the finals against the Hobart Hurricanes. The Challenger, Sixers vs Thunder. It's part 2 of the Sydney Smash, and it doesn't get any bigger than this. Win and you have a date with the Hurricanes in the final. Lose and it's season over. To add extra spice to this game, it's the second time these Sydney teams will be going to battle. The Thunder won the toss and elected to bowl first. Things started perfectly for the Sydney Thunder as Nathan McAndrew struck early, removing Jack Edwards 7 runs. Curtis Patterson 11 runs wasn't far behind as the Sixers were in a world of hurt. Captain Moses Enriquez 29 runs and Josh Philippe 16 runs attempted to bring the Sixers back into the game. But due to luck, Philippe was off to the sheds after a mind-boggling run out. That wouldn't stop Moses Enriquez though, as he continued to slog the ball before he had to go. Lachlan Shaw Duck was not far behind as the Sixers were in trouble once again. Jordan Silk 43 runs not out and Ben Dwarsha's 30 runs went to do some power hitting, and it worked for the most part before Dwarsha's time at the crease was up. After another wicket at the hands of Wes Agar, the Thunder, despite being unable to remove Silk, were well in front into the innings break. What a start it truly was for the Sydney Thunder, as Jason Sanger 30 runs and captain David Warner 11 runs started the Thunder's run chase aggressively before the huge breakthrough of Warner. Sanger was the next man to go as the Thunder were in a bit of a pickle. Enter Sam Billings 42 runs not out and Matthew Jilks 26 runs, who took their time to swing momentum back towards the Sydney Thunder. Just before drinks break, Jilks fell in another crazy run out to give the Sixers hope. However, Hugh Wellerman 8 runs and Billings continued to just run the singles before Hayden Kerr struck, taking out Wellerman. Despite some more wickets such as Chris Green 15 runs falling, the Thunder still had Sam Billings, which meant they were still in the box seat for victory. George Carlton fell for the Thunder as the Sixers crowd were getting their noise back. But that will completely die off as Nathan McAndrew 19 runs not out and Billings smacked the last few runs as the Sydney Thunder will be heading off to the big dance against the Hobart Hurricanes at Ninja Stadium. The final, Hurricanes vs Thunder. It all comes down to this, the show-off between the two best teams of the season. Can the Hobart Hurricanes win their inaugural BBL title in front of their home fans? Or will Davey Warner's led Sydney Thunder keep their 100% grand final win record? The Hurricanes won the toss and elected to bowl first. It was an amazing start for the Sydney Thunder as David Warner 48 runs and Jason Sanger 67 runs smashed a 98 run partnership as the Hurricanes failed to pick up a wicket going into drinks break. The second drinks break was done, however. Captain Nathan Ellis took out both Warner and Matthew Jilks on a duck as the momentum was starting to swing. Sam Billings 20 runs attempted to help the Thunder, but Riley Meredith had other plans, removing Bilbo. From there, the Thunder were struggling, as Nathan Ellis took the huge breakthrough of Sanger to give the Hurricanes the edge. From there, the Thunder were slogging the ball, as Ollie Davies 26 runs and Chris Green 16 runs started swinging. But once Davies fell, it was pretty much innings over, as the Thunder scraped past 180. In order for the Hobart Hurricanes to claim victory, things need to go their way early, and that's exactly what happened, as Mitch Owen 108 runs and Caleb Jewell 3 runs smacked a massive 109 run partnership in just 7 overs. Jewell and Chaudhry 1 run both fell to Tanveer Sanger in the same over, but that didn't slow down the Hobart Hurricanes. Mitch Owen then proceeded to tie for the quickest century in BBL history, as he got his 100 off just 39 deliveries. Tom Andrews eventually stopped the carnage, removing Owen, but the damage was already done, as Ben McDermott 18 runs not out and Matthew Wade 32 runs not out finished the job to hand the Hurricanes their first ever BBL title in front of their home fans and their fortress, also known as Ninja Stadium, where the Canes didn't drop a single game. It was a historic night in Hobart, as this would have to be one of Tasmania's biggest achievements as a state, and I'm sure many Hurricanes fans will cherish this night for years to come. Thanks for watching, guys. What a great BBL season it truly was, as the Big Bash, in my opinion, has got the flair that it really needed after a couple of rough years. It's a shame that it's now all over, but to be quite honest, I'm really looking forward to BBL 15. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, cheers.